it's made to have mass appeal, and so there's a certain flattening quality that or influence that has.
British Top Gear compared to American Top Gear. Say what you know about the CBC and the budgets. The fact is you go on the States, watch a television show and say that car's a piece of crap. You cannot do that on any of our networks in the US because they might be an advertisement. So we can never do that. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, the way we see it, the internet is something that is you can tie in to, like you can start off at that surface level, and there's content that, like we're talking about how many hours of footage are we shooting for every hour that ends up on air. There's a lot of the stuff that doesn't end up on air that is actually quite interesting and arguably more interesting than the superficial stuff. And so that's available as an interactive thing for you to have access to at some point. And as we know, television and the internet are all sort of merging, and so that actually is an opportunity that allows you more choice of what you're watching. I know there's a lot of stuff in our shows that we love to talk more about, whether it was wasted footage or not, but we could go into all sorts of depth on these things, and we love to, and to be able to provide that as a user selectable kind of thing is actually quite nice.
We at one point considered having a webcam set up in M5 so that fans could just tune in and watch whatever we're doing on that day, but unfortunately the jokes I tell between takes are too dirty. It's how I get my crew, to lighten up.
We also realized that at the CBC, and Quirks and Quarks was the very first program to go with podcasts on CBC Radio.
Really?
We did that back in the 90s. And we developed a whole new audience because they're not all sitting listening to the radio at 12 o'clock on noon. That's how I got my plug-in with my show. But you can subscribe and search it. It's great.
And to that end, actually, I mean, Twitter has been an invaluable partner with Mythbusters. So it's really strange. There's the two things that Mythbusters has commensurately grown up alongside is the maker movement, but also the explosion in social media. And Twitter allows us the ability to converse with our fans in a fundamentally different way than it's ever been possible before. I find that the interactions that I have with fans on Twitter are surprisingly civil, given the general tenor of the internet. We get a tremendous amount of ideas, but also, I mean, I can drop into my Twitter feed any time of day and find a link I didn't know about and a cool build that is a first for me every single day, and that just expands what we receive as TV hosts, because certainly we live in a weird bubble, but also what we can talk about and what we can expose our fans to. And that feels more like the conversation that the internet has always promised, often spuriously.
Well, thank you all for your questions. Sorry we couldn't get to all of them today, but let's hear it for Adam Savage.